Magazine news and gossip. Have you ever wondered what thoughts whirl through the mind when someone you once felt deeply connected to steps into an entirely new chapter of life? Could a single announcement trigger emotions more complex than surprise? And what does it feel like when the media's spotlight unexpectedly turns you into a side character in someone else's breaking story? Today, we dive into one of the most talked about developments in Turkish entertainment, weaving intrigue, emotion, and unanswered questions into one sweeping narrative. Hello, dear readers and followers, welcome back to Magazine News and Gossip, your ultimate source for the freshest, most captivating stories in the world of entertainment. Buckle up, because today's episode is brimming with drama, speculation, and sentiment centered on two names that have long captured hearts: Demet Özdemir and Yaman. Lately, the celebrity grapevine has been buzzing nonstop. Rumors are flying that Demet Özdemir is expecting a child. This revelation has ignited headlines, captivated fans, and, surprisingly, stirred something profound in Yaman's reaction. Observers say he appeared pensive, perhaps even unsettled, a response that has left the public questioning, why did Yaman react the way he did? To really understand what's happening, we must rewind the tape. On screen, Demet and Yaman formed one of Turkey's most beloved pairings. Their compelling chemistry and dramas like Kusi Daydreamer turned them into an instant favorite not just domestically, but across Europe and Latin America. Fans swooned over their performances, and soon whispers began. Were they more than just co-stars? Yet neither Demet nor Yaman ever publicly affirmed a romantic relationship. Still, their off-camera closeness fanned the embers of speculation. Many believed that their bond transcended simple friendship. As time marched on, the paths of the two stars diverged. Demet focused heavily on her acting in Turkey, then took bold strides abroad, especially in Italy, participating in high-profile projects and cultivating an international fan base. Meanwhile, Yaman continued his own career trajectory, facing the highs and lows of stardom in his own right. Now, years later, those past speculations erupt anew. Demet's presumed pregnancy has created a media storm. While she has not publicly mapped out every detail, signs have emerged: her appearance, insider leaks, and social media chatter, all pointing toward the dawn of motherhood. Messages of congratulations have flooded in. Admirers express joy, pride, and curiosity in equal measure. And yet, for Yaman, the public reaction has been far more subtle, reportedly quiet, pensive, even strained. Some say the news left him visibly weighed down. Others hint at inner conflict. Shouldn't a person in his position simply celebrate an old friend's good news? What lies beneath that seemingly cautious expression? Let's explore the possible layers behind Yaman's reaction, not to assign blame or to craft scandal, but to illuminate the human texture behind celebrity gesture. 1. Emotional resonance and lingering affection. Time softens many wounds, but it doesn't always erase memories. Whether or not Demet and Yaman ever had a full-fledged romantic relationship, their professional collaboration and off-screen closeness imply a strong emotional link. To hear that someone you once felt a special closeness with is entering a new chapter, one filled with parenthood, can naturally stir the soul. You might feel happiness, but also nostalgia or a touch of wistfulness for paths not taken. 2. Fantasies and what-if reflection. Sometimes, life doesn't unfold the way we once imagined. For Yaman, for all we know, the news of Demet's pregnancy may have awakened long-buried what-ifs. What if they had pursued something real and sustained? What if, in some alternate timeline, he was the one holding her hand on this journey? The permanence implied by parenthood may feel like the closing of a door, and that finality can strike with unexpected force. 3. media scrutiny, and pressure. In the realm of celebrity, perception is everything, and the moment Demet's news spread, headlines swiftly twisted Ken's name toward the spotlight. Articles such as, "What will Ken Yaman say about Demet's baby news?" and "Is Ken behind the scenes concerned?" began to crowd public discourse. For someone who might value privacy or control over their own narrative, being dragged into a story about someone else can feel invasive, uncomfortable, or even burdensome. 4. Sincere concern and protective instinct. Of all the angles, perhaps the most human is the simplest. Care. Pregnancy is an intense, vulnerable period. It's quite possible Ken's reaction was less about himself and more about Demet, her health, her emotional well-being, whether she's surrounded by support. His worried look might have stemmed from empathy, wanting her to be safe, and wanting to ensure she's not alone in facing this new frontier. 5. Personal crossroads and self-reflection. Watching someone from your past take a major life step can force introspection. Ken Yaman has, over the years, fielded questions about marriage and children, and though he's been linked to various people, he hasn't yet taken those steps himself. Demet's progression into motherhood before him could lead to comparison, perhaps even self-doubt. What stage am I at in life? Am I doing enough? Life has a way of prompting self-evaluation when others evolve. Public response. Hope, criticism, dreams. Fans and commentators have responded across the spectrum. Some assert, of course Ken would feel some heaviness. He cared deeply, while others dismiss the tension as media overreach. He's just surprised, that's all. But under the surface, many admit the news rekindles old dreams of the two together, desires that perhaps never died. Ken Yaman himself hasn't avoided the subject of marriage or children in past interviews. Though he's been linked romantically to different figures over time, he hasn't yet settled into family life. In that light, Demet's step toward motherhood may have prompted him to revisit his own timeline, perhaps even reconsider what he wants in his future. What's next for Demet and Ken Yaman? At this point, no one can declare with certainty what lies in Ken Yaman's heart. He alone holds that answer. Yet what we can say is this: the story between him and Demet continues to mesmerize, even after the cameras fade, even as their lives evolve separately. Demet is preparing for a deeply beautiful journey, motherhood, and everywhere you look, people cheer for her. Meanwhile, Ken faces his own emotional landscape, perhaps stirring memories, maybe newfound clarity, and definitely a renewed relevance in the narrative. One thing is clear: millions will be watching, scanning interviews, analyzing social media posts, following each new move. Because stories like this, those built on past co-stars, unconfirmed romance, and surprising turns, never fully disappear. They linger in public imagination, in hearts that once hoped, and in the delicate interplay between fame and humanity. Stay tuned, dear readers. Magazine news and gossip will continue to monitor every twist, every statement, and every photo, ready to bring you the next chapter of this fascinating story.